Welcome to the Beverage Click podcast, the only podcast where we discuss drinking trends with an Asian perspective. I'm your resident host, Sean O, certified beverage specialist and co-founder of the Beverage Click Academy in Singapore and Malaysia. And here is this month's episode. What's up, my drinking comrades? Today, we head to Vietnam, a market that many alcohol brands now look at as one of the next big frontiers in Asia. Now, let's be clear. Wine consumption there is still nowhere near the level of some more established markets, but the signs are there. The country has a young population, a growing middle class, and a consumer base that is becoming more educated, more exposed, and increasingly appreciative of the finer things in life. And when that happens, the drinks will pay attention. What makes Vietnam especially interesting is that it feels like a market in transition. There is curiosity, there is momentum, but there are also plenty of misconceptions. Red wine is often still seen as better, bigger bottles can be mistaken as more premium, even the deeper punt of a bottle can sometimes influence perception. In many ways, it reminds me of where parts of Asia, including China, were maybe 10, even 20 years ago, when symbolism and status still played a huge role in how people bought wine. But that's also what makes it exciting. Because when a market is still developing its wine culture, there is huge upside. Huge room for education, huge room for people to shape the narrative properly. And within Vietnam itself, the dynamics are not all the same. Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City remain the two major centers of gravity, with Da Nang rising quickly thanks to tourism and hospitality development. Ho Chi Minh City, or Saigon, as many still call it, has long had a more international, expat-driven energy, where Hanoi often feels different in rhythm, culture, and buying behavior. So for this episode, I wanted to speak with someone who is not just observing that evolution, but actively helping to shape it. Today's guest is Vi, Vice President of the Vietnam Sommelier Association, and we'll talk about the Vietnam wine scene, sommelier education, hospitality culture, and where this fast-evolving market may be heading next. So let's get into it. Okay, welcome back, my drinking comrades. And today I am taken to Ho Chi Minh City, sunny Ho Chi Minh City, for a bit of a catch-up with a couple of industry people. And fortunately, we have a very special friend of mine who is in the industry, and her name is Vi. So for listeners who are meeting you for the first time, what will you describe your journey into wine and sommelier in Vietnam?
Hello, so my name is Vi. I am currently the Vice President of the Sommelier Association in Vietnam, which called VSA. And I'm also the Beverage Director for Nen Restaurant, where we got restaurant in Ho Chi Minh, in Da Nang, and also a very new outlet in Tokyo. So yeah, a little bit of everything. Or let's say I've been into the industry for more than 11 years. So for that amount of time, like working as a sommelier in Vietnam, I saw a lot of things that like really change, and a lot of new things that happen in the market, which is for us is very good because everyone always think like Vietnam is the new market into wine. People don't know how to drink, or people only drink beers here. So there are actually a lot of things that happen and change for the last, let's say, 10 years.
Right. And I can confirm that Nen is a very good concept because I visited Nen the last time. It was really chic, very fine. The beverage list was good for a very good reason because you were the one that's behind the beverage. But aside from building both academic depth and practical experience, at what point did wine go from an interest to vocation for you?
I would say it's not only like it's my interest or it's the vocation on that, but I think it's a balance between both of them. Like when you work a lot in one industry for a long time, sometimes you feel like, oh, it's a little bit exalted, but then you still love wine in the same time. So I always try to balance the both. First, I got interest into wine by learning some new thing like, wow, this we call the grape variety, what is the fermentation. But then the more I learn, the more I work in the industry, I saw that, oh, maybe there's something actually very fit for myself. Like I can really smell, I can catch the aroma, I can spit them out, and I can explain the wine to the customer.
Yeah.
One of the very first lesson when I study for is a competition preparation. So the professor give everyone a glass of wine, and he said, "Can someone describe the wine?" So everyone would so silent because I don't know, it's the alcohol feeling. And I say, yeah, I felt like a little bit of this fruit, that fruit, and I feel like this later. And I felt very comfortable when saying that. I didn't fake the flavor. I just tell like what I really feel. And then he said, wow, this is very good.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, maybe this is something for you. So I think maybe this is something for me too. From the interesting by learning theory, only theory about wine, I felt, I smell, I drink, I serve the wine. So it's a combination between everything for me to decide to work as a sommelier until now. Yeah.
Do you remember what bottle was that?
It's a French wine competition, so it's gonna be a very basic Bordeaux wine, Bordeaux AOC something.
Yeah, but everybody needs to know your basic Bordeaux, right? Yeah, okay. You studied wine at a very high level. You finished your level 4 already. Congratulations on that one. Yeah. And how has education and competition shaped the way you think about what a sommelier should be?
It's a very good question because when I first learned wine, I didn't really know about sommelier, or I didn't really choose to become sommelier for the first year when I graduate. So I always think that, okay, I'm going to work as a F&B staff like the other student. And then I have a chance to attend to a sommelier competition by chance. So before the competition, I have to attend to a training course. So I was like applying paper. I have no idea on why. So I attend to the course. So the teacher told me this variety coming from this AOC. So I write down and I really remember everything. So I think because I didn't know anything, I'm like super blank. So everything that the professor told me and gave me, I can remember very well. So from that day and from that moment, I think to become a sommelier, I think it's very important to really study and be serious on, do you have to study hard? You need to remember a lot and you need to spend time to read, to remember the flavor and to remember everything. So for me, I always tell to all the young sommelier or let's say young student that first of all, you think you love wine or you want to become sommelier. So, but after 1 hour or 2 hour training, you say, maybe I'm okay.
Yeah, this is a bit too much for them.
I just can, I drink wine, I know what is good, what is bad. But to really become a good sommelier, you really need to spend your time and put a lot of effort to study. I think the best thing for a sommelier to really train your mind, train your soul, and train your body, everything is to go through a lot of competition.
Okay.
I know there's a lot of different way of thinking to become sommelier, right? Maybe you study some courses and then you can become a sommelier right away, and then you learn by experience. But for me, when you attend to a competition, you always need to tell yourself like you have to do the best. Even it's very hard, even there's a lot of competitor around you, but you have to do your best. You really need to be very serious on learning, training, and finish the competition. Even you cannot, no one can be champion all the time, but at least you put the best effort for that.
Yeah, Vietnam has been represented on an international stage quite regularly these days, I would say. There's a lot of pressure, and you just mentioned about the pressure. So where do you think Vietnam stands today in the sommelier nations?
From the Sommelier Association perspective, I think we are still new into competition.
But you're very active. You're very active in the market.
Yeah, I am. But of course, when even in the local market, you can be the top, like top 2, top 3. But when you go abroad and you compete with international competitor, that is another story. And of course, we always try our best to get the best, let's say, score or the best mark for ourselves and for the countries. But of course, we don't have that much experience comparing to other countries. To be honest, we still need to learn a lot. So we need to improve a lot to really compete and to go through the, let's say, semi-final or better, let's go to the final.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to go through semi-final of the Japan Sommelier competition in 2023. I think I was very lucky because I think I didn't do my best because, of course, all the question was so hard. Sometimes I didn't even know about what were they asking about. But I just, like I have mentioned before, I think I just do the best and everything I can and put my effort there. And then I was lucky to go to the semi-final and end up as number 10.
That's good. That was a very good result. And plus, I think you guys probably sell yourself a bit short. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you have 2 or 3 diploma holders, the WSET diploma holders in Vietnam.
So far, we got 4 Vietnamese.
4 Vietnamese?
Yeah,
wow.
4 Vietnamese in 2 years.
In 2 years?
Me and 2 other friends. So we attend to the WCT diploma in Hong Kong. 2 of us got it in last summer. And then the other 2, there's one more person came into the course. And the other 2 just passed like maybe 1 or 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So we got 4 new young diploma holder. And plus we got another Vietnamese ladies that got diploma for a long time ago.
Okay, this is probably the fastest growing market in that sense, because we know when we look at the academics, I mean, diploma holders, back a while ago, even Singapore had very little, and then now we have quite a bit of fun. Again, for context for the listeners, in Indonesia, if I'm not wrong, I think there's only 1 or 2 level 3 holders. They don't have a diploma holder, so it's quite a good sign for Vietnam market. But from your perspective, how has wine and sommelier scene changed over the past few years for Vietnam?
I think we got more and more young people coming to the industry, which is very good. Because I remember 10 years ago when I just decided to become a sommelier, I was like, I don't know where to learn. I don't know who to ask. And because I have no experience, I don't know which is the best book to read. I need a community. To grow faster, you always need people to help you to improve. And that is one of the reasons why we start the association in 2017. We start the club, the Sommelier Club, and then we turn it into association later on. It means that from the day we start the club and into the association, we always trying to find young people around us. We encourage them to become a sommelier by attend to several training. We try to make wine and study about the sommelier thing a little bit easier to approach.
Do you see an increase of people curiosity?
Luckily, yes.
Okay, this is hunger there.
Yeah. I always say it's very good to see young people, young face, new face all the time. They want to become our member and actually to be a real sommelier. So nowadays, if you walk around, let's say Vietnam, like Ho Chi Minh City, Da Nang or Hanoi, you come into several hotel, good restaurant, or even wine bar, you will see several young sommelier over there, and they are one of our members. So that is super good for us because that is the future. When I start, most of the people that I know, they are sommelier, they are a lot older than me. So the way they think about wine, the way they study, or the way they want to share the information is very different. And it's not really, let's say, not really trendy or not really what the market really needs now. So the young people, they are very fast in terms of internet. They catch a lot of new information very quick. Then they got good languages, like they speak Vietnamese, English. Some people French.
I know you speak French.
I speak French. Yeah, but now today you got more and more people like speak Chinese, Japanese, which is very good. So it helps a lot for like to talk with different kind of customers.
Yeah, and I think the learning culture here is so amazing because this is a little bit of sidetrack. I was in my room early on, and the cleaning lady, who's relatively young, she came in and she started making conversation as she was cleaning, and she was speaking Japanese to me because she thought I was Japanese. My Japanese is not that good, but I replied to her, and she replied me. I was like, wow, that was your Japanese so good, and I'm like, oh my. Even from a basic cleaning lady, people can actually speak different languages, which is great. Now, back to the wine and drinks culture, because clearly when we talk about beverage, we're looking at the 3 major cities, maybe. There's Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh, and maybe Da Nang. Is the wine culture different? Where there are stages of maturity in this?
I have to say very different. Let's say Da Nang is the youngest and it's the newest area that got into wine. Even Da Nang is one of the best place for tourists in Vietnam. So we got a lot of tourists, and the F&B section there is very developed. But in terms of wine in the F&B industry, it's still new because like for our association, we start in Da Nang like few years ago. The first several years, we only got 1 or 2 members. Okay. And then after years and years now, we got around like 15, 20, which is a lot more than in the beginning. So that is quite new in terms of wine. Even local people, they drink, but they will drink something, let's say, very general. They don't really looking for a variety or some specific area. They will think more about, okay, I like full body, I like tannin, I like this flavor. So that is how they really choose the wine, not by I want Barolo, I want Chianti or something like that. So it's more general. But I believe that in the near future, Da Nang will develop a lot faster than to other cities.
But it's more touristy,
Yes, by having more tourists and of course young people around Vietnam, they will come to Da Nang and work in the F&B industry because there's a lot of opportunity for F&B in Da Nang. Did you visit Da Nang?
Well, not yet. I'm waiting for invitation.
I think that is one of the, so far, the best city. Yeah, because
Okay.
our restaurant, we one outlet in Da Nang. So I travel to Da Nang every month or every 2 months. Every time I come back, I see, oh, there's a new wine bar.
Really?
New restaurant, yes, a lot of new wine bar, different concept. They are really focused on develop the idea, a team, and the type of wine bar over there. You can have more natural wine focus. I was very surprising by having a new restaurant that focus into natural wines. Because that is not very popular.
Not yet.
Not yet, yeah. Or you can have a more traditional wine bar over there. So I think it's one of the places that will develop very fast. In terms of Hanoi will have a little bit more traditional in terms of drinking and choosing the wine. And Ho Chi Minh will be a little bit younger, more dynamic, because a lot of things happen here, of course, throughout Vietnam. But Ho Chi Minh will, because it's not because I'm from Ho Chi Minh, but I work more here in the south. So it's very hard for me to really compare all the places. But I see that here they are more dynamic and they catch the trends very fast. Yes.
And obviously a lot more expats and
we got a lot of expat here and a lot of new trend. Maybe some trend that come and go, but there's some trend that stay more than 5 years for now. For example, natural wine, sustainable, or let's say orange wine is developed very fast in Ho Chi Minh. And now you can find several bars in Hanoi that have natural wine.
Okay, good to know. I mean, as the vice president of the association, is there a greater mission that you guys are hoping to achieve?
We always hope to have more young member, or let's say to have member and younger member that join the association. And we're always trying to have a chance to work with other associations around us because it's best to learn from experts. As we have a very young association, we start officially 2019. So 7 years old association. So we always try to learn from, let's say, we always ask for help from Gerald from Singapore Association or Miss Saiko from Japan. So they are the one who always give us a lot of insight and help us to improve ourselves and find the right way to develop the association and stay away from too much of a marketing thing or too much of commercial thing. Because we're always trying to improve, let's say, more technical part. But of course, you have a chance to work with a lot of different wine region, bring more courses back to Vietnam so our member can learn more and experience more wines around the world.
Yeah, with the hunger of education, I won't be surprised that lots of education bodies will actually do very well here. But for the listeners who are international producers, educators, or sommeliers that are listening in, what do you think they would still underestimate about Vietnam?
I think one of the things that I heard a lot when I travel abroad, they say, oh, you got drink wine in Vietnam? Yes. I said, yes, we drink wine in Vietnam. And we've been import wine since more than 20 years for now. And we say, really? I thought you only drink beer or local rice.
Yeah, that's the impression that most people have.
They always ask me like, oh, do you really why you drink wine and you can really import wine here as a communist country? So I'm like, yes, of course.
Of course, I mean, look at China, right?
But yeah, they always got the mind like that. So I think, to be honest, we got a lot of important good portfolio. We work with a lot of different countries. So you guys can think that Vietnam, we really drink wine and we got Michelin restaurant with very good wine list and some wine list that go into a wine spectator or star wine list.
Yeah.
We improve a lot.
I think that was one of the biggest takebacks for me when I first came to Vietnam, was that I didn't expect it to be so vibrant and there is so much of access for wines, but yet the market is still growing
Yes, still
tremendously. There's a lot of opportunities, I think, in terms of development for the Vietnam market. Before we close up, just finally for some young listeners in Vietnam who are curious about this path, walking the sommelier route, what's the first step would you tell them to take tomorrow?
Study. Please.
Oh my, I'm not sure that's probably the right advice to give them, but they're probably like, what? I need to study?
Yeah, because a lot of people will say, I want to become a sommelier. I think I got a lot of vocation to become a sommelier. And I say, yes, but you have to study. Sommelier is not you go and you drink. A lot of people think that sommelier is people who only drink wine. That is not. That is wine drinkers. So sommelier is the one who really understand about wine, about your wine list, and you know how to build a cellar, and you know how to make a conversation to your customer to choose the correct wine or the best wine for them. So you need to really study. You need to understand before you say, I know how to drink for you.
And to communicate, right? Your customers and whoever you're talking to.
I always say education is very important. Don't think that you can become a sommelier without any hour of study.
Yeah, education eventually generates demand. So I think that is a very important point. And thank you very much for pushing that point forward. I think all of us must emphasize on this part on studying. All right, Vi, thank you very much for being on the show. And I hope
Thank you for having me.
Continue working with you for this market. All the best.
Thank you.